Thanks, Susie. We're joined this morning with Amador County's favorite handyman, Stuart London.
Good morning. How are you, Cam?
Good.
I can shake your hand, Steve.
You put on these gloves, and I started to get a little worried. He just pulled them on like this, and I was like...
I did the...
Yeah, that was it. That was the move. Here to speak about the commode, do we call it? Do we got the...
We're talking about the crapper. Matter of fact, Susan told me his name was John Crapper, which is why we have the term, I need to use the John, or I need to use the crapper.
Crapper, right.
So I want to start off with this item. Everybody knows what this is. It's a plunger, and we've all had to use it. So do you know how to work this unit?
Without getting stuff all over the outside of the bathroom, no.
That's always helpful. So the bottom line, what we want to do is we want to slip it in gently, and
oh.
Cam, don't go there. And we want to push down, and then the actual action is pulling up. So what actually wants to happen...
that's where I make the mistake.
There you go. So most people stuff it in there and they start plunging, and sometimes they'll clear the clog like that, but the proper way to do this is to push down and then pull up.
We'll see if
that pulls the clog out, and then it allows it to drain. So that's how a plunger is supposed to be operated, and we will get this guy out of the way.
I'm taking my toy away.
I am taking your toy away. The next thing we're doing, this came out of the bathroom in the TSPN studios, and you'll notice that the handle is broken off, and they very creatively
pipe cleaner.
used a pipe cleaner, and they were successful, and I told Sue I would come by. So this is the old valve. I replaced the handle. Now, this particular handle wouldn't fit, I'm sorry, on this toilet. This one came in on the front. However, this handle is fine on this unit. So what we do is, I don't know how, well, can you see that okay? Okay, so there's a couple of little prongs in there. I'm pulling the old unit out, and we're gonna pop that off. And then we have a new unit. The new unit actually comes with this piece attached to it. And some toilets, you would actually slide this whole unit down the top. But in this unit, it has two little flanges like we have here. And so we're gonna just reach in, clip this into place, and then we would actually measure this and attach this clip at the proper height, and then we would turn the water back on and we would test it, okay? And of course the flapper would want to be in the down position. And matter of fact, later today I'm going to go out and fix a toilet whose water keeps on, the tank won't fill. This is probably what her issue is. If you're going to work on your toilet, a couple things I recommend. By the way, I didn't go in there. You notice there's quite a bit of rust in there. We have some of this in Amador County, okay? The bottom of this is pretty clean. This morning, for about 5 minutes, I put this Iron X. There's also Iron Out. There's a lot of products. Jackson True Value has them. Most of the local hardware stores have them. And they're very inexpensive. And normally, I don't recommend you put anything in the tank. However, if you've got quite a bit of rust and crud buildup in there, you follow the directions, wear gloves, and leave the fan on. These are very powerful chemicals. Keep them away from your face, but they will clean the tank out. Had I filled this up, it would actually look brand new inside. The other thing is, if we're going to possibly change a supply line, this is the line that came off of this toilet, and a toilet supply line will always have a plastic ring on it, okay? I don't know if you can see inside there, and I'll show them then to the camera. Okay, I don't know, again, if this will work because it's close up, but the unit on the right, the gasket is compressed.
Okay.
So if you're going to work on a toilet or a faucet, make sure you always replace the supply line because the gasket is not compressed. The last thing you want to do is possibly fix a leak, and then it shows up a couple weeks later, and that was because you tried to save 10, 15 bucks.
By using your old hose that the gasket had already been compressed.
Exactly,
Gotcha.
And of course the gaskets are compressed on both sides of them, so we want to use a new one. If you have questions or you're competent enough to repair a toilet yourself, this is pretty much a complete kit for most toilets, again with a front flush handle, and it includes a fill valve and the handle and the flapper valve. So that's a complete kit. I don't know, they're about 26 bucks, so pretty reasonable. That flapper valve, there's different qualities. They start from about $5. The ones I put in are about 10, but They're really good. And
Now, Stuart, tell me why I shouldn't put that disc in the tank that's going to clean the toilet for me.
the little chlorine disc, well, first of all, there's a warning label inside all these toilets, and it says, warning, do not. And what happens is these chemicals are very corrosive, and what they'll do is they actually deteriorate the rubber parts and the neoprene parts, and then you develop leaks. And that voids the warranty.
And you know what happens if your rubber leaks.
That can be catastrophic. So if you feel competent enough, certainly changing a flapper valve is pretty straightforward and easy.
Right.
And changing the handle, that also, again, is pretty straightforward and easy. And by replacing that flapper valve, you can save some money on your water bill. Most of us have a little leak or a trickle in the toilet. Gosh, Cam, you're just really beating me up today. And that's a quick way to solve it. And here's, so you talked about the disc. Here's another thing that shouldn't be placed in the toilet tank. However, there are products that go in the bowl now that will clean and accommodate, and do the same purpose for you.
So, in a nutshell, if you've got the drip, you need new rubbers. That's basically what we're saying, I think. What we're saying?
There we go.
Stuart, there we go. With a clean handshake, thanks for coming in. Don't forget, Stuart London, Amador County's favorite handyman. Great. Take it over to Susan.